Hi, my name is Alyssa Moran and this is Alex Fonseca. Can you tell us what your job title is?
I am a manufacturing test engineer for aerospace company.
And what does a manufacturing test engineer do?
So what I do is I pretty much create the test procedures that we use, that my test technicians use in order to test all of our hardware that goes on satellites. I also manage equipment. I manage all of the test sets to make sure that they're functioning properly. I'm also a liaison between my area, which is test, and the different disciplines that my units go through, like vibration, thermal vac, and I'm the in-between from the customer that pays for our contracts and the test technicians. So I'm the guy in the middle, making sure that everything in test happens correctly.
And what education is necessary in order to get this job?
You'll need an electronic background, so you'll need a degree in electronics. You'll also need a degree in engineering because you're dealing with both.
How did you get this job and what is the interview process like?
Well, I went to school for electronics engineering, and when I interviewed, it was actually a massive group interview. So I interviewed with about 7 different managers from different locations within the company I work for, and they were all in the electronics field, just different areas, and they pretty much will find out what kind of knowledge you have with electronics, if you have technical background, if you kind of know how to troubleshoot, you know how to use certain pieces of equipment, things like that, and then that's pretty much what the interview process was.
What are your day-to-day activities for this job?
Like I said, I manage and maintain and create the test procedures, so a lot of that is making sure that all the procedures for my test technicians are clear, that they can follow, so that they can run functional testing on all of the units that we end up putting on the satellites. I'm also in charge of all of the equipment because what we test, we need calibrated equipment. So I'm in charge of making sure that everything is calibrated. I also make sure that the test sets are working properly so that they can test the units correctly. I do that every day. And I'm also working with, like I said, if I have to schedule vibration, if I have to schedule going into thermal vac, then I gotta make sure that I'm doing that ahead of time, and I have to continually, every single day, make sure that my units are continuing to move and meeting the schedule that we promised our customer.
What are some interesting aspects of your job?
Well, you get to deal with a lot of very expensive parts that you don't really realize when you're looking at this slice. But the slices that I test, the units that I test, range up to like $600,000-$700,000 that I'm literally holding in my hand. And also, what I do goes on satellites that eventually, keep our country safe. So.
Why did you choose to be a mechanical test engineer manufacturing test engineer rather than any other type of engineer?
So I decided to go this route more so than mechanical because I really like the electronic portion of it. I like electronics. I like turning things on. I like getting hands-on with electronic parts. So I went that route as opposed to trying to make sure things were built correctly. I want to make sure electrically it works correctly.
Would you say your job is challenging?
Yes.
Why?
Biggest thing is to meet schedule. We have what I do. We promise a customer we're going to build this board by this day, and my job is to make sure that happens. So if there are problems arise with the board, I am there to try to help to make sure that we can fix the problem in a timely manner so that we still meet the schedule, because schedule doesn't move. They expect it done at this day, and we have to make sure that all of our parts are working and we get it to them so that we can get future contracts.
And what advice would you give to someone that's looking to go into your field?
I would say, if you love electronics and you like turning things on and you like dealing with, putting parts together and how things work, go into the electronics field. Engineering is the best way to do it. You can go from design engineer that you're making your own boards to test engineer that you're helping test, and it's all related with electronics.
Thank you.
You're welcome.